My name is Levi Masibo. I'm an engineer by profession. I work at Pixel Electric as a manager. I've been practicing engineering for the last 7 years, my field being embedded system. Welcome to Meet the HR Show.
Beautiful. That was amazing, guys. That is Levi. My name is Sylvia Wanja and this is Meet the HR. So let's pick it from the top, Levi. Why electrical engineering?
Funny enough is I'm always fascinated with robotics, and I'm always fascinated with tech. Like all along since I was born, I think I'm someone who grew up getting these small equipments, destroying toys. I used to destroy toys within a day where my mother has actually bought them. So in the process, I grew a lot of interest with these equipments, which is actually technology. So at my career path, I decided to venture into engineering with a lot of passion. So in my field, second year, I became the Intel ambassador to universities. I was picked in for that cohort where we started doing training to people in terms of technology. So we are normally tasked with moving from one university to the next through Intel, trying to introduce the latest technologies to people, which these technologies involved machine learning, deep learning, AI, and robotics as well. So that has always been something about me, and I kept on doing since second year to fifth year when I graduated.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So from a very young age, you are 100% sure it's electrical engineering for me? Or was there something in there that you had to like give up on?
Not at all. However, when it comes to electrical engineering, it's a very big field because we talk about two fields. One field is generation, the other field is about low current. So what happens to generation, we'll study about generating power and distribution. But now this bit of low current, we normally talk about electronics. So I never used to like so much the heavy current, which is the generation and distribution. My passion was in electronics.
So you moved towards the electronics bit of it.
That's what I actually specialized.
And how did those closest to you react to you wanting to pursue electrical engineering? Those closest, your mom, your siblings, how did they take it that you want to be an engineer?
No, funny enough, my mom is very supportive in your type of field like you really want to pursue. I come from a family of three, and one thing about my family, I have a sister who is our second born, that is, in a family of three, and she has also done computer science and mathematics. So we're just in a team of purely tech people. So what I was trying to do is just to follow the same path that is part of the family anyway. Yes. So
your parents are already okay with it?
They were very much okay with it.
Wow, that is very amazing. So what were the qualifications that you needed for you to pursue the course?
Qualification was to get a straight A from there.
From high school?
Yes.
You just have to have a straight A.
A straight A from the high school. Yeah, that was the biggest qualification for that. You have to do well in mathematics, science courses as well. Yes.
And how long does the course take?
Engineering normally take 5 to 6 years, depending with which type of engineering. For electrical and electronics takes 5 years. Other courses like architecture will actually take 6 years. Yes.
And what happened after you left school? You're fresh out of campus. What happened next week?
Something about our course prepares us for a lot of things because we are entitled to have, I forgot to mention, but I was alumni of JQuat. So you're prepared to a lot of things because based on our coursework, we need to have at least 5 attachments. So what these 5 attachments does, it introduces you to a lot of companies because before the Senate approves your graduation, you must have completed all these 5 attachments.
In different companies?
In different companies, different fields. So during that process, that's when I got my final attachment, which I call it an intern because I did it after I had actually graduated. And the thing is, I was based at a company, Del Monte, and I was in the department of electrical. So what we used to do there was motor rewindings, which now took me back to what I called heavy current. Whatever I didn't like is what I found myself doing there. So after within 3 weeks, I think I couldn't keep up with that. But back then, my career path journey started back in school, which was 5th year. I and my team, we made the first autonomous drone project
Oh.
in Kenya. So when we were trying to source the parts for that particular drone, we realized we had to import like all the parts. So that introduced something in my head. There is a gap in this market.
Yeah, there's something that
Yeah.
you need to feel.
There's a gap in this market because I remember I imported all the parts that we needed for our project and also helped other colleagues to import their parts. So this market, I discovered there's a very huge gap. So after those 3 weeks working rewinding motors, I decided I need to pursue my interest, which happens to be my hobby
Yeah.
and my career path. So the thing was, I thought so. I am very young. So let me take this risk to pursue this dream. In case it fails, I'll go pick my certificate from the drawer and start looking for jobs. So I decided to take the risk of how about I begin a robotics industry. And that's how Pixel came about.
Wow.
So my career path immediately changed from being employed to become an employer.
So there's no particular point where you have been employed. It came straight from internship to starting a robotics company.
Correct.
Wow. And how do you feel as an electrical engineer of all these people in the industry doing putting electricity in places and they don't even have the information or the background of studying engineering?
What I'll say as per se, we normally say electrical market is normally flooded. And just in response to your question,
Yeah.
guys talk about electricity. Electricity is basically 3 wires.
Yeah.
So the moment I start working with someone on site and you take a lot of interest, what happens? You will one day come replace my job. Why? Because this is a matter of playing around with 3 wires. So in my case, it was very different. I will say my mentor is a book.
Oh.
When I was back in 5th year, I started reading. Apparently, I was someone who was a white collar. I used to say I'll be working from one job to the next one. Moving.
Freelance.
Yes. One job to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, until you get that wage that you really like. But something really happened very funny.
Yeah.
When I was in 5th year, I read a book, Kiyosaki, called The Cash Flow Quadrant. So he was trying to describe about self-employment. In fact, it starts from being employed to self-employed to business to entrepreneur. After I read that book, I saw myself in employment. So automatically my mind changed completely. So when I was trying to take this risk, I knew what I was putting myself into. And being young, I thought in case of anything, I'll still go back to school.
Yeah.
So whatever is happening in my field is, it's a very dynamic field, but you have to be up to standard with technology. Because what happens is, electrical, every person can do it. I'm sure in your house when you buy a shower, who fixes your shower?
Probably my brother or my dad.
Yeah, at times you can even do it yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how simple electrical is. But now you have to get deeper to a specific field, and that's what you actually specialize in. Yes.
So you'll advise those who are doing it freestyle, they should actually try and pursue more so that they can get more knowledge on the field.
And in any case, I don't think it's actually electrical alone. Any type of field, you have to come out to be very unique. I have friends who are lawyers,
Yeah.
and you cannot say, I'm just a general lawyer. You have to practice where you want to be. Is it a business law? Is it a criminal law? Whatever you have to specialize. So guys walk out of school like engineers, a broad name engineers, but what speciality do you have and what's unique about you? Yes.
And in engineering, are there any refresher courses that you need so that you can keep up at par with the changes that are happening in the industry?
One thing I'll mention based on my career field, we deal with robotics, we deal with automation, we deal with new technologies. And if I happen to take you through what we do in our company is, it started through selling of parts. And this is selling of basically normal equipment that we need to use them to make these huge projects. So we specialize in development boards, things like drones technology, things like microcontroller. So after doing it for the last like 7 years, we now moved into Pixel Engineering Africa, which is now implementation of these projects. Still with the push of the clients, they told us, you bring these things. What type of knowledge can you introduce to us? So that's why we actually came up with Pixel Academy. So we are 3 companies in Kenya doing what we do. And it shows you there's a very huge gap in our market. I would say my biggest dream, as much as I was doing engineering for the last 5 years, my biggest dream came from being an Intel ambassador as well. Because Intel exposed us to a lot of new technologies that I wasn't even aware of. So from that opportunity that I had, that's where I put the foundation of my company.
Wow, that is beautiful. Guys, I hope you're following through with this conversation. It's getting interesting by the minute, and I know you have a lot of questions that you want us to tackle, but you're going to get into that. But first, Levi, you talked about starting your own company, and a little off camera you mentioned something about licensing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Usually by law, before you run an engineering company, you have to be practiced for 3 good years. So once you're in practice for 3 good years, that's when you start getting the licenses for engineering practice. And that engineering practice is basically consultation. Yes. You don't open a company and get consultation license immediately. So it happens after 3 good years.
After 3 years.
Yes.
So for those 3 years, do you still work solo, or do you have to be under someone or employed by someone, or you can just be freelance and still show, how will you show proof that you've actually worked for 3 years?
The company has to be running for 3 years, but you're not allowed to have full licenses in terms of consultation. Yes.
Okay, I get it now. And I hope you're also getting it at home. We're going to take a quick breather, but we will be right back to get to know more about electrical engineering as a career. Don't go too far. Stay tuned.